Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another podcast from the housebound Overbite crew. With me, the majestic, now housebound Snare from the stuff going on at the moment, and I'm joined by Lee, of course. Hello, Lee. How you doing?
My life hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, mine has. I was working in the office, now I'm not, so I'm back home. I do have a special letter that allows me to be out and about, though.
Oh, so you can go out and does it cover the people you're with or just you?
Just me. I'm a key worker. So it's allowing me to go to and from work without getting stopped by the police and arrested. Whereas you just have to be outside and they can arrest you.
Oh, you just say, no, I'm going to the shops.
Well, yeah, I don't think I can do it for that. It's my ability to go to work and back again.
Yes, but do you want to, really?
Well, it's not a matter of want, it's a matter of having to.
Truth.
Yeah. Okay, so here it is. This is our sort of trying our best to keep up with the schedule situation, because we would normally have probably filmed today as when this is coming out.
Maybe tomorrow. In fact, probably last Saturday we would have filmed.
Yeah, that's true, actually. And then to give us the ability to get the review out on a Saturday. However, things are fucking not ideal at the moment, so that's going to be coming maybe hopefully next week. We'll have to try and find some time to record that and see how things are going generally. Lee can't get hold of a decent webcam because everyone's trying to buy the bloody things, so we'll just have to work with our beautiful dulcet tones.
Can I have one of those?
No, you're not allowed. So yeah, I mean, we're still going to be planning on doing a review of Ori, because it's a game that I certainly have liked the previous first game of. So I've definitely sunk in a nice quite a few hours into it now. And it's you were right when you mentioned it was a bit of a slow burner, but I don't mind that so much. And we'll do an actual. I don't know. Maybe we could just do the review now. What do you think?
Well, I haven't played it enough because there's been far too much good shit dropping. So
okay,
my gaming's been all over the place. I need to sit down and make myself play Ori.
Fair enough, but it does. Yeah. Well, okay. We won't go into a review of it, but needless to say, that'll be our next kind of review on the channel. There are lots of games dropping, including for me. There's bits of Warframe dropping. I did a video on Wednesday for it. So there's stuff happening in that space. It's quite a strange situation, I think, and it's something that maybe we want to talk about. But when the news came that people were going to be sort of like, I don't know what the phrase is at the moment. On lockdown is the best one, isn't it? Being stuck in their houses. I was thinking all those people around the world that like playing video games. It's not necessarily a massive change because I don't necessarily go out a lot these days. I know you're obviously going to get food and petrol and things, but in terms of like leisure time, if I'm not working, and I can work from home and I have worked from home before, but in my free time I'm generally just kind of playing video games or doing things around the house anyway, so I'm not going to expect it to feel too different. I don't know about you.
No, I mean, you know me, I don't particularly go out very often either. I haven't been out for probably around 2 weeks. Been working from home, and the girlfriend basically has gone out all the time because she likes going out and so wants that excuse to go.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yep, that's fine. So the only difference between weekdays and weekends for me is like on the weekdays I'm sat on the couch and on the weekends I'm sat on my office chair at my PC.
Yeah. So it's an interesting kind of thing, obviously, for a lot of people who want to be out and about, out in the fresh air, doing sports, and basically just doing things outside, or even, going to the gym is now not a possibility. Those people are suffering the most. I've got quite a lot of friends that are like chomping at the bit to actually like do some probably like weightlifting and something, but they've been, a member of the gym, can't use it anymore. And so for people playing video games, it's kind of like it's business as usual, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, as long as I've got beer and tobacco coming in, then I'm a happy man.
Yeah. I stocked up on some juices for my vape, so I'm good for now, and I'm pretty sure I can order some more if I need to. So yeah, don't panic buy, guys. Stay safe. Stay sane. Sane. I can't talk now.
You could
Um,
stay stained as well.
yeah, that's you, mate. Um, so I did see some little bits and pieces of news recently, but not a great deal that might be worth talking about. Um, there was a piece of news I did see about Gearbox not paying their bonuses to staff, but I don't know too much detail about it, so I have to be careful what I actually say. But it sounds like they were promised some bonuses that they're now not going to get.
Yeah, I've heard a bit more than you have by the sound of it. Then,
Go for it.
because I did a whole video about Randy Pitchford previously, and it's just Randy Pitchford being Randy Pitchford again. So basically, when you work at Gearbox, you take a lower base salary than other developers would, but you do get some impressive bonuses. Like I think when Borderlands 2 launched, the bonuses they got allowed some of the staff to buy houses, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So they're super well compensated through the bonus scheme, and it's probably the highest bonus scheme in all of AAA gaming. Unfortunately, this time around, they were told they were going to receive bonuses, and they still are, but much less than they were told that they would do. So you've had a lot of people there basically making financial plans with all this money they think they're going to get, and now they're not going to get it. But Randy's got 12 million bonus when they started production of Borderlands 3, so he's okay.
Well, that's okay then. I mean, as long as the CEO's got cash.
Yeah, exactly. Heaven forfend that he should have to, I don't know, spend one of his multiple millions, on groceries or something throughout the year. That'd be terrible.
It's gold-plated toilet paper, prick. Let's not beat around the bush. He's just a prick.
He is.
There's so many things.
They're actually floating their stock publicly. Th're becoming a publicly listed company.
I'd heard that, yeah.
And I can't imagine he's going to stay CEO for much longer if that's the case. Because can you imagine the public putting up with the shit he gets away with, where it's a private company? I mean, if he was employed as a CEO, he'd be gone so fast. And now he essentially will be employed as a CEO because they're listing publicly and they will have shareholders.
But the other the other factor is, as if it's a private company and he's the head honcho of it, it's his decision whether he wants to go public or not, right? So he knows he's going to get a big payout. He knows he's going to sell it and get away from all the heat, start something else up, and start all over again. The guy is just a fucking cancer of the industry, and he's going to make money from it.
Yeah, I don't even know if he has any interest in the industry. I think he just uses it as a platform to elevate himself and get money.
Yeah, probably. That's part of it. I mean, most CEOs are either bred into the role, aren't they? Or they have a company they've started from scratch and just gone along with the corporate side of things. But yeah, people like Randy Pitchford, they just need to be accountable, and it's never going to happen. So
no, because it's a private company at the moment. But when it's listed, he will have to be accountable to the shareholders. So that's a good thing. But he will likely get a big payoff for the sale of shares, and then he won't really care if he's not CEO anymore.
Yeah, no, he won't care, and it'll be the best thing for Gearbox in the long run to get somebody that's working hard. Well, not a prick, basically. Or that won't work with a CEO, probably, will it? But you want to get someone in that's got a passion for games, and potentially the Gearbox games that have come out in the past, has a vision for where he wants to take the company, and get people on side and pay them fairly. None of this bonus crap. Because for me, like, if you're working on something, a bonus should be extra. That's why it's called a bonus, not part of your salary, depending on how well we manage to market what you've done. The time they've spent working on it is irrelevant to the bonuses. I mean, they should be paid fairly for their effort and get a bonus if that's how they want to, remunerate their staff. You can't just. It's like the whole tipping culture. It's basically a massive tipping culture, or massive tipping situation that you get in the States, where people are paid nothing or very little, and they make their salaries up on tips. So the whole culture in the US, or in places I've been to in the US, you're expected to tip a decent amount because you're paying their wages. Whereas in Gearbox, it sounds like, well, you can put in 2,000 million hours to this game, but if it does really crap, you won't get your decent pay. If it does really well, you get loads. But that shouldn't be the case. It should be these guys are exchanging their services and time for money, but on a fucking half promise. So that's not fair, I don't think. So fuck him. Fuck Randy Pitchford. Fuck him in his face.
Well, to play devil's advocate, I mean, the developers did knew what they were getting to, and their previous big payout. I mean, they obviously didn't get one for like Colonial Marines or anything like that because that wasn't successful at all. Or was it Battleborn? Was that the other one? I think it was.
Maybe
that they've done in the meantime. So they wouldn't have got bonuses for that. They did get an extremely good bonus about Borderlands 2. So we're talking six figures. But as I said, this time they will be getting a bonus, just not as big as they were told they would be.
Yeah, and I understand people will be going into it knowing the situation because it would be a part of the contract. But I think wasn't there something about they were not promised a certain amount, but they were expecting a certain amount because they were being told it was going to do really well and be, a defining game, and it's done very, very, very well. But they're saying it's cost too much.
Well, it's just now become profitable, apparently, which just happens to coincide with its release on Steam. Funny that.
Yeah. I just, I would like to see people pay fairly for their work, that's all. Especially when the hours and hours of enjoyment each person gets from a game that they enjoy. So it just makes sense. Just makes sense.
Mm.
But yeah, before I start maybe going off on too much of a rant, let me talk about something nice.
Okay.
I found a sequel to a game, or a genre of game, that I am quite partial to. I wouldn't call it a guilty pleasure, but I would call it something that I can spend hours on for no apparent reason, and it's not Warframe.
Is it hentai?
No.
Ah.
It's the what do they call it? The lost phone or the locked phone genre.
Oh, what? Where you find a phone and you pretend your phone is that phone and you do things on it
and you get information and unlock things and have conversations and stuff. It's something that I love because it's one of those games that has to be crafted in a certain way, and it's like a fighting fantasy type book where you have to scripted everything in the right order and things can't happen unless you've done other things, but those things that happen are great and kind of immerse you into this situation. And this one is Simulacra 2.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
check it out on Steam.
Advertised.
So it's a fantastic game because you get to, in previous ones I've played, it's very much text-based discussions. Even the Mr. Robot had a game like it as well.
Yeah, I finished that one.
Yeah, and you have these discussions. You have text-based chats and stuff, and you're getting information and coercing and manipulating people and getting things done. But in this one, you actually have phone calls. You have full proper video of as if you would do on your phone. You have your videos and photos and stuff, and weird shit's happening. And it's just, it's a mini review here, but I really fucking like it. It dragged me in, and I've just had probably about 5 hours fun with it so far, and I felt like I blinked.
So is it a bit like Orwell?
Similar, yeah. You basically are. I think you get to choose between two types of person. I chose to be the sort of government agent type thing, and I'm just going to ignore that. And you basically get given this phone, and it's like a cold case, and this person has died, and it's the dead person's phone, and you kind of have to open up the phone and get bits and pieces and talk to her friends and look into what happened, and you get weird shit starts to happen, and it's really fun and it's immersive and good. I just love it. It's great. So there's my good news for you, mate.
Oh, lovely. I'm glad you're having such a lovely time.
Yeah. How about you? Found any good shit lately?
Oh, there's been so much dropping lately. It's been ridiculous. I'm looking at my recent games shelf in Steam, and yeah, there's plenty of new ones in there. So I went and picked up Black Mesa, which is the fan project Half-Life remake, which Valve was so impressed with they agreed to sell.
Hmm.
That's actually pretty good. I mean, I haven't played much of it. I haven't got my hands on a gun in it yet. But it's like the opening, like hitting the microwave to mess up the guy's casserole. All that's in there, and it just leans on my nostalgia button super hard. I've been playing Doom Eternal, which is very good, but a lot more difficult than Doom 2016. In fact, I stopped playing Doom Eternal because I'd never finished 2016. So I thought, I'm actually in the mood to finish that now. I kind of want to like ease myself in, sort of get my head around the Doom combat before it ramps up to Eternal. But Eternal looks great. It runs fantastically because I have a lovely rig now, so it would. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. What else did I got? I got Half-Life Alex, which
Ooh.
is very good. It doesn't do anything I really haven't seen before in any other VR games, but it does it with like a level of polish that we maybe have only seen in a few titles before.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I just don't have enough room to properly do a VR, especially like an active. Because it's pretty much, I haven't really seen too much of it, but I guess it's an action-based VR game, right?
It is, but you can play it seated. It does allow
Yeah,
you.
I still don't really have the space in my cramped office. But yeah, I'm glad to see that VR games are still being made because we've always said like it needs a killer app to be the reason you buy it, and maybe this is the game that people go, oh, you got to get a VR, you got to try that. It's a bit like Beat
Like,
Saber at the moment is the killer app.
I think it's less that it hasn't had any good stuff. It's kind of like people went through this phase about VR and then it kind of just fell away.
Yeah,
And now with sort of Half-Life Alex being a Half-Life game, it's just brought a huge amount of attention back to it again. So people are able to go back and they already play like Vader Immortal and Sinners and Saints or Saints and Sinners, whichever way round it is. So they can say, oh shit, it actually does have some decent games on it now.
yeah. Now I'm always for like VR doing well, but it's just the setup that you need to do each time you want to play it. You have to if you're in any kind of position where you're moving things around. If it's in your front room or something, that's different. But if you're in a position where you've got things in the way or you've got to set things up, it's a bit of an overhead to getting down and playing the game. Whereas with most games, it's switch on, turn on, and play. And that's a real barrier to a lot of people. Not to mention the fucking price.
Yeah, and if you're doing room scale, you do need quite a big area to like swing your arms about and sort of waddle about in. So you've got that concern as well. But I mean, for me, I play most of the games seated, which can be a bit of a pain in the arse sometimes when you're trying to grab something off your hip and your hip's just slightly too low. So you're like trying to dig into the couch cushions to try and get to it.
Oh, that's a sight. That'd be a brilliant video. You have to do that.
It's like, I remember when I first played Job Simulator, they had cupboards at like floor level, and for some reason the height was off, and literally I couldn't get to the cupboard because the floor was there. So like it was beneath the floor for me. So I'm like banging my fists into the floorboards trying to get at this fucking fridge.
I've done that. I've got like a wardrobe sat to my left in my office, and it kind of juts out. And so when I've been playing stuff, and I've slowly, how some games you end up like pointing the wrong way because of how you've turned around or how you're facing things. So I
Yeah.
ended up with my hand like right next to it, and then I had to like pull my hand to my left, and I just went slap, and it completely and utterly just ruined my wrist for about fucking 10 minutes. It was just like I could literally got it caught in a door.
You pillock.
Yeah, but that's the problem with having a cramped space. For stuff that you can just see and look and things. I love it. I mean, Google Earth on VR is incredible. Love that. That's
Yeah,
really good.
it's quite interesting. I mean, I'm like a huge fan of like the truck simulator ones, that.
Yeah,
Because that is just a stupid way to lose just an evening. You're driving along, you're like, oh, one more delivery, then one more, and it just keeps going like that, and you're like, why is it dark? Where the fuck does the sun go?
yeah, exactly. But that's how I felt about Simulacra 2 at the moment. I'm just losing hours, and although I mean the playtime I've had with Ori has been good, and that has a similar effect when you're playing it. It doesn't have the draw in for me, but once you're playing it, it's like I must, I would just want to do a little bit more, just get that one more thing, and it tots itself up. But I love it when video games are able to do that. I mean, there's not many other things that drive you to do it so much as a video game. I mean, it is an addictive pastime, but there's not many other things that can go. I mean, if you like cooking, you're not going to be like addictively cooking all the time. You might cook to eat and enjoy the food because you want to eat the food lots, but I don't know. I feel like video games are a special thing.
I don't know. It's like watching the telly, isn't it?
Well,
You just
go on.
you just lose an evening. Regular people that don't play video games just come home after work. They're tired, so they don't really want to go out, so they just plunk themselves down in front of the TV and just passively watch TV. So I would argue that at least being engaged with a video game and sort of working your hand-eye coordination and all that, I think that's more beneficial. But I think they're very similar in the sort of ways you can become addicted to it.
I'd agree to a point. I mean, if you had things like watching a series on Netflix or something that has a good cliffhanger and you want to watch the next episode, that's a similar feeling. But I wouldn't suggest that passively watching TV just because you've got nothing else to do has got the same pull. But you're right, doing video games or playing video games is a more active hobby than just being there, having it pushed on you, because that's not interactive entertainment, is it?
No, although there's this, I think there's a Bear Grylls thing on Netflix where you can it's like choose your own adventure.
Oh, can you kill him?
I don't know. I've only watched the first episode.
Or can you put the camera up the right way so it looks like he's actually just walking through a puddle?
No, you pick what gear he takes and what he does when he's in these life and death situations and stuff.
Oh, I must try and find that because that sounds quite fun. I really enjoyed the was it Bandersnatch, what it was called, the Black Mirror thing they did on Netflix.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that. So
it's I quite enjoyed that because it was just original and quirky and very Black Mirror. But yeah, it's
I struggle to watch stuff like that because I don't tend to just watch TV. I usually have it on in the background.
Yeah.
So I'm playing, BattleTech or something like that on my PC, and I've got my TV that I can see past my monitor. So, I can just binge series like that and still play games at the same time.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of good TV out at the moment, I've got to say. Lots of things popping up. Altered Carbon, that was fantastic recently.
Yeah, I got halfway through the first season of that. It's one of those ones I've been meaning to go back to, but I figured I'll probably have to watch it from the start again.
Yeah, well, there's I suppose it's an anime version called Resleeved.
Yep.
I'll be getting into that soon. And also, I'm just looking at my bookshelf because I bought a book related, not it, but related to it. What's it called? I forget the name of it. Oh yeah, Recoil. It's kind of basically it's not advertised, but one of the things on the back was talking about fans of Altered Carbon will love this, and I was like, do you know what? I need a new book. Let's get on it. I fucking love the whole concept of Altered Carbon, so let's get on it. And I haven't read it yet, but it's I'm on the wave. I'm on the wave of consuming all that stuff at the moment.
Have you signed up for Disney Plus?
No,
I have.
Why would I want to watch Star Trek?
Star Trek?
Yeah, the guy in the helmet.
What, the Mandalorian?
I just like winding you up. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that it's worth the money for me.
The Mandalorian's fantastic, but what I would say is give it a few months if you just want to try it out for the week trial, because they're releasing the Mandalorian on Fridays. So it's episode 4 is coming out tomorrow in the UK, whereas it's previously all been broadcast in the States, of course. So I would wait for that to finish going and then just sign up for the trial, and then you can just go through all the Mandalorian, which is the best thing on there, to be quite frank with you. And then you can decide whether you want to keep it or not. It's because it's obviously Disney. You got Disney, Marvel, Pixar, National Geographic, and Star Wars. So there's limited content on it compared to something like a Netflix or an Amazon Prime.
So how much is it per month?
It's like £6 per month. But
So
that is the 4K package as well, or at least that's what the screen tells me.
so for £6 a month, which is I think what £2 less than Netflix.
Something like that.
See, my big issue with all of these platforms is it's becoming like I'm paying for, Sky or equivalent sort of cable services like that, or satellite services, but I'm now paying it to four different people because I've got Amazon Prime. I know I get that free with my Amazon Prime, but it's still a cost. Then you've got Netflix and TV license. And you've also got fucking, which you can't have a TV without the fucking license. That's a con.
Well, you can't have a computer without a TV license. It doesn't matter about the TV anymore.
Oh yeah, because the the streaming services.
In fact, I imagine they probably get you for a radio as well.
Only analog is okay. I think if you have a digital radio, it's different.
Yeah, because they still do. That's still how they're paid for BBC Radio, isn't it? Adverts and license fees.
Yeah. And interestingly, to the younger viewers, if there is any out there, you used to be able to buy a black and white license in the UK for a bit cheaper, but they don't do those anymore.
That's because we don't have black and white tellies anymore, mate.
No, I know, but you could still have one.
You just turn the colour down. You're like, look, it's black and white. Give me a cheaper price.
That's what people used to try and do, Lee. That's the funny thing. Anyway, so it's like you've got all of these different platforms and you're spending, like £30-40 a month on stuff, and you're like, oh, I don't want to get Sky, it's too expensive. And then you end up spending it anyway because they're splitting up all the content across all these different platforms.
Yeah, but Sky is much more than £50 a month, mate.
I know that Sky is Sky, and you never leave them because they'll just try and give you free shit.
I left them.
But I just, I never understood spending that much on TV every month, and then I'm sat here going, well, I'm spending like £8 on Netflix, and I've got the Amazon Prime is what £70 a year or something like that. I can't remember how much it costs now. Maybe 80 or £90.
Yeah, something like £80. I'll be able to tell you it's coming out this month. So.
And then you've got X, Y, and Z extra services, and I reckon in the next couple of years YouTube will go paid only or something like that. So it's just going to be funny as hell to see how that's going to turn out. And I don't really want to spend more money on Disney. I really don't. But I feel like I'm going to have to because I enjoy their Marvel content. I do enjoy Star Wars content when it comes out. I do take the piss, but I do enjoy watching the films. I don't run out to the cinema and watch it, but
well, I'm not. I mean, I haven't seen Rise of Skywalker yet, and I'm not going to buy it, so I'll wait for it to come up on that and watch it on that. But yeah, one thing I did like about it is it's got like a lot of the old Marvel cartoons on it. So you've got like the 90s X-Men and Spider-Man.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And even older than that, you got like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I don't know if you remember that.
Vaguely. I mean, it was a Saturday morning cartoon, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestar. And Spider-Woman's on there. That was when I was like fucking 6 or 7. I had a big crush on her. What was going on there?
They need to do a She-Hulk series.
Well, they did, but it starred China and it was porn.
No, I mean an actual series, not just a porn series.
Oh, right.
I think it would be interesting to do something because I mean, the characters that they've put out, obviously some of the lesser known ones, have done extremely well. And I would put She-Hulk into that bracket because she's familiar but alien, to people's understanding.
I mean, she was part of the Fantastic Four for a while. She replaced the Thing. And, she's been on multiple Avengers teams. And it actually solves the Hulk problem because it was always like, how do you do a Hulk solo movie when you've got like this brainless strong lad? How do you do it with him not just bullying around going, Hulk smash? How do you make a movie out of that? Well, She-Hulk retains Jennifer Walters' intelligence and basic personality when she changes. So there you go. She just becomes bigger and stronger and smashes things, but still has the ability to deliver the lines.
Because they kind of did that with Hulk in the Avengers.
Yeah,
Endgame,
Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
but like before that, when it was just Savage Hulk, when you had like Lou Ferrigno doing its voiceover and stuff, it was always like, yeah, it's not very interesting because it's just like he goes a bit angry and breaks things.
that's what you expect of Hulk, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But it's good in the short term. But how do you fucking drag that out 2 hours and tell a compelling story with it?
Well, I'm sure there's a way. I mean, I watched. There's a channel I watch on YouTube called George. Is it George Rockhold Smith? Have you seen some of his stuff?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he did a whole thing about the Marvel sort of journey from Iron Man to Endgame, and some interesting kind of commentary and thoughts about how it's put together and how organic the growth was, and why things were working and why people were turned on by it. To the whole franchise and stuff like that. And it was a really interesting kind of review of the whole 22 films where it was. And it is an interesting question. Well, how they're going to go from here? I know they've got like a phase 4 type thing going on.
Yeah, new
Um,
characters, TV shows, all that jazz.
but it's going to be interesting to see if it's still going to continue and not like fall away, because it's like it's built up to that end game film so wonderfully. And it literally is a saga, isn't it? That's an official
Mm.
kind of term. It's got epics in it, and it is over a long period of time just fantastically engaging. I don't think there's any particular Marvel film that I've not enjoyed apart from Thor 2.
Really? Okay, I'm slightly different. Me and my girlfriend are actually watching all the films in order because it's got like Marvel through history, and it's basically just a queue that has every Marvel product on Disney Plus, but in chronological order.
Oh Jesus! What, all the cartoons and shit as well?
All the cartoons and shit as well, yeah.
Bloody
So,
hell!
so we're going through and doing all the movies, all the Marvel cinematic movies, I should say, because it's got some really weird omissions on. So you've got X-Men up to, I think, the Wolverine or Wolverine Origins, but it doesn't have like First Class or anything after that. It also has Rise of the Silver Surfer, but not the first Fantastic Four movie. Doesn't have Four Stick, which is probably a good thing.
Oh, I watched the remake make of Fantastic Four, the one
Miles Teller.
with the really weirdly bad Doctor Doom in it,
Oh yeah,
where they go off to the other dimension.
Toby Kebbell. I tell you what, I watched Bloodshot yesterday, and that had Toby Kebbell in it, and I was just like, that's never a good sign. When Toby Kebbell turns up in a movie, you're like, oh god, it's gonna be bad.
Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, but the other day I was just bored. This is the only excuse I have. I watched Crocodile Dundee. I didn't realise, I mean, after so much time, how much of a shit film that is.
But you also forgot how lovely Linda Kozlowski is, though.
Well, yeah, but it's just like, she is such a slag.
What, in character or for real?
In character.
I really didn't pay attention to what she was saying, mate.
She, well, the whole premise, I mean, in the nostalgia memory, the film's about like, her going to find out this weird story about a man that's killing crocodiles and saving people and shit and lives out in the bush, and that's like, oh, that's a nice romantic sort of setup. But then she's engaged and agrees to marry a guy halfway through, right? But when she was out in the bush, she has a bit of a snog with Mick Dundee anyway. Then she goes back and has the whole funny like fish out of water experience when he comes back to New York. And then like she's like, sorry, I've got to go marry this chap, and she goes off, and then he goes to leave, and then she just fucking throws everything away, despite having probably had sex with Mick Dundee at some point. I can't remember the chronology there, but then she goes running through the subway, and is like, I love you, and all this shit. I'm like, hold on a second, you just kind of went back to your fiance a minute ago, and now you're chasing this guy down the subway. It's just, it feels so like there's so many bits in it that have dated really badly, and I don't know if anyone wants to watch it again, just be wary, because I remembered it being a much better film than it is. I remember it so much better.
I'll tell you a couple of movies that have dated really badly, and that is I'll go one at a time just for convenience. Then that is Overboard. Do you
Never
remember
seen
that
it.
one?
Nope.
Basically starring Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. And
Oh, is that the
it's
really rich woman that ends up and like getting help from someone else and or can't remember who
yes.
she is?
So he's a carpenter. She has him in to build her like this wardrobe with shoe thing in it on her yacht. And he does the job and it's really good. But she's like, no, I'm not paying for that, you peasant. Fuck off. Go away. And they toss him off the boat. And then she actually gets knocked overboard, hence the name, during a storm. And he discovers her and basically convinces her she's lost her memory and convinces her that, yeah, she's his wife. And he brings her home to be like mother to his children, do the chores, and eventually has sex with her.
How can that be aged so badly, Lee? I don't understand.
Well, I haven't seen it, but they did remake it.
How
But
did
it's
they-
okay because it's the bloke that falls overboard this time, so it's okay.
Oh, that's okay then.
Yeah, well, you know, being like manipulated, enslaved, and molested, that's only applicable to women.
No, I'm sure it's just as bad when it's the bloke doing it as well, mate. To be fair.
Well, yeah, no, I absolutely, it's bad both ways, but they chose to gender swap it because it wasn't perceived to be as bad.
Well, yeah,
Rubbish.
I'll give you that. That is how it's seen sometimes. Yeah, I haven't watched any other old films that have dated so badly as Crocodile Dundee yet, though. Go on then. What's the next one?
Footloose.
Oh God, I never watched that.
Well, it was basically about a town that banned like rock and roll and dancing and shit like that. And then they remade it, setting it in like modern times. It's like, how the fuck does that work? Really?
No idea.
It doesn't. Quick answer. There you go. So yeah, those were the two that immediately sprang to mind.
Oh, do you realise this is the first podcast that we've actually not really talked about video games much?
Oh, we did.
Well,
Well,
no.
I can get back to video games because tomorrow, you know what tomorrow is, don't you?
Friday.
More than that, it is the Resident Evil 3 launch day.
Yeah, not fussed, mate. Really.
I'm looking forward to it, buddy.
I can appreciate the good work that's gone into those remakes. I mean, we obviously had a moment to look at the Resident Evil 2, but it's. I mean, for me, it was again something that kind of feels a bit dated. I mean, the Resident Evil 2 game, despite it being up for current gen types sort of feeling and experience, it was definitely still something that I felt should have been left in the past, like as a game. But what they've done to it, fucking brilliant. It's good. So, and I never really played the third one.
Oh, I completed the third one multiple times on the PlayStation. I think it was the first PlayStation. Yes, it was. Obviously, I did the demo run through for this one. Apparently, it's quite short. It's about 6 to 8 hours to complete it. There's no like multiple run throughs or anything like that. But there is once you unlock a store where you can like use in-game points to like purchase additional outfits and shit like that and cheats and stuff. So that's a good reason to go back through. Also, the modding community has already started on it
before it's even out. Beautiful.
They're using the assets from the demo. Such clever little tinkers. But yeah, so people that were complaining, like I was, that about the appearance of Jill, you can actually make her look like she looked in, based off of Resident Evil, I think 5.
Nice touch.
Yeah, and they've got the original outfit that she wore in Resident Evil 3. I know there's a version of the original outfit in the store I mentioned that you can get, but they've actually made it more accurate to Resident Evil 3 and all sorts. I mean, they've already got a swimsuit up for her, so obviously that's good.
That's the only reason you're buying it. I know.
And reshades and stuff like that. So yeah, get down to the Nexus, and there's tons on there for it. It's about 3 pages.
But don't you think there's been an absolute quantum leap of that realistic character design and just general visuals in those games? Like, what the fuck have they been doing to suddenly drop that? Like Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake.
Well, it's the RE engine, isn't it?
Well, it is, but at the
Seven.
same time, that fucking sandwich in the intro of Resident Evil, that burger.
I was going to say.
Well, burger is a sandwich. You can give me that one. But it's like it's so fucking well done. Like something so simple as that, and you're like, hold on a minute. All the facial kind of animations are spot on until someone fucks with the extent of movement, and they're fucking hilarious videos. Check them out. But yeah, it's just so well done. It's like suddenly it's got good.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed in the demo there was some like, it was really weird. There was like meshing going on. It looked like, I don't know whether I had a setting off or something like that that I shouldn't have. I should have cranked. I mean, I didn't crank it up all the way, just in case it stuttered through. It was the first time I played it for the recording.
Yep.
So obviously, when I get the game, I'll do a bit more tinkering and see how far I can put it up. Normally, I mean, my video card's only got 8 gig of memory, and like if you put everything up on like Resident Evil 2, it's like wants 12 gig. I don't know any video card that has 12 gig. I think they all have like most you can get is about 11. But because the RAMs and the card is so fast, I can generally deal with it without any stuttering. But I wasn't willing to take that chance in RE3, so I did keep some stuff down. But it was some like certainly in the hair and on the sides of people's faces, there was like almost a mesh type thing going on. I noticed.
Weird.
But as I said, I don't know whether that's the engine or just the fact that I hadn't turned something up far enough.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag at the moment, isn't it, in terms of stuff coming out. I mean, you mentioned a couple of good titles that are dropping recently, and I've done my video on the Warframe release of Scarlet Spear that was just broken when it came out, but they are doing stuff to fix it, so watch my video. It'd be fun. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that... Well, the big one I'm still waiting for is Cyberpunk. I still want that. And that's probably going to be next year now.
Nope.
It is going to be this year.
Yep, CD Projekt Red have confirmed that all they're doing is bug fixing and polishing, and it can be done remotely. They say it will be available in September. I don't know about physical copies because obviously there's more to it when it comes to physical copies, but certainly for digital copies, I can't imagine there'll be a delay.
Well, I'm sorry, but I bought a special edition.
You wanker!
So I expect that to be delivered, post haste once everyone's not diseased and stuff.
See, this is an excellent reason not to do that.
Well, because of a global pandemic. Oh, fuck off, Lee.
Yeah, so look what's happened.
I've ordered a special edition and caused a fucking apocalypse. I don't think so.
No, but you may not be getting the game as soon as everybody else that didn't.
Yeah, I don't mind.
You're sick and twisted, if you don't mind.
I would like to think that they would do something to soften the blow there. So if we're not going to get a special edition, they'll give us a key or something to download the game.
To be fair, it's probably a key in a box anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm hoping they'll do something to allow us to play it. Because we'll have to review the fucking thing.
Yes. I can't... Well, I suppose you won't be able to come over, will you, even, if it's still going on, so...
Nope.
I'll just be like, yeah, it's really good. You ought to play it. Oh, God. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it?
Well, we'll probably be in this situation for the 6-month stint, which takes us to just before the end of October or start of October.
So there you go.
So yeah, I think it'll be difficult to say we can do that.
I'll tell you what, if that timeline holds true, that's what we should do first. Our first reunion video should be the Cyberpunk review.
If it works out that way, great.
Assuming you've got it by then, of course.
Yeah. What you mean next year, right?
Mm.
September next year. We'll do a retro review.
But both consoles. Oh god, beer. Both consoles are apparently likely to be pushed back to next year as well.
I did see something about a price, the classic price war, but the PS5 is going to be quite cheap compared to the Xbox. Is that right?
Well, the Xbox is quite a bit more powerful, so that would make sense.
I thought it depends on which bit you're looking at, though.
Well, it depends. No, they're releasing different models in the Xbox line, I think. So there'll probably be one that is more competitive with Sony's pricing. But from the specs they've announced, I'm assuming it's for the X model, which is the top one. because the specs they've announced are unrealistic at PS5 price points.
And I guess we still don't know when it's coming out.
No, as I say, it's probably going to be pushed back to next year, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think most things are being pushed back to next year, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the only way this thing has affected me. I mean, I don't know anyone who's got it. I don't go out, so it doesn't affect me that way. The girlfriend does a sterling job in getting groceries, so it doesn't that way. It's just like games and movies are getting fucked though. So
yeah, well, there's been plenty of good content released in the previous years that we can keep ourselves entertained, I'm sure.
I mean, if they go through crunches, they should be able to work through this. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's so heartlessly.
No, I just want my fucking games.
But it does. One thing it does do is show what's really important in life in general. Because as much as I do adore video games and what they've done for me and many, many people, at the end of the day, it's not the part that keeps you alive, is it? I mean, it's a bonus. We should feel privileged to play video games and be able to have an entertainment like that.
No, I pay money for it. I shouldn't feel privileged for it.
So you feel privileged that people can actually have a living making video games and be able to give them to you, and so you can enjoy them. It's a very privileged position to have that kind of technology.
Yes, I was very privileged to play. God, what was it? The thing I didn't want to play. You made me play.
What, Watch Dogs?
That was it.
How could you forget Mr. Charismatic himself?
Well, it was Watch Dogs 2, actually, I think.
Oh, yeah, you hate that one more, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I did hate that one more.
But, yeah, I mean, Watch Dogs Legion is another one I bought the special edition for, because I've got both of the previous special editions. Just looking at them on my bookshelf now. You can't tell, but I am looking at them.
Well, we did do that unboxing during the review, didn't we?
We did.
I saw a box of Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah. No, it was a good... They do good fucking special edition tat. They do. Ubisoft, they do good stuff.
Yeah, but you're calling it tat for a fucking start, mate.
Yeah, but I know it's tat. I just like having it. It's a nice memory of a really good game that was underrated.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face when I said that.
Yes, well done.
No, it was a half decent game. I enjoyed my time with it. It had problems, but at the end of the day, the special editions for me is something that I can sort of pick up and just reminisce about a game or the stuff it has in there, and its kind of build quality and missing parts that I had that time.
Yeah, what was that? That was
For Honor.
The dueling thing.
The
Is that dead yet?
No, it's not dead. No, there's still people playing it. The special edition on that was like 3 busts. 3. I suppose they were cast iron, but they were helmets from each 3 factions. And obviously, since then, there's about 7 different factions now. But I've got the OG. It's up there. I'd love to have it in a display case and maybe get some like glass around it or something, but at the moment it's in its nice box and I can take it out and look at it when I want to.
Yeah, I remember you sending me a picture of a box containing 2 and just this hole where the third one was supposed to be.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was like underneath when I opened it up. I thought, oh, that's weird. Maybe it's just too delicate to be put in that spot. And then you see the plastic that's basically molded around it and it's not in there. And I'm like, what is this? This is wrong. Something wrong with this picture.
That's the worst. So when you get something delivered, you're excited, you open it up and it's fucked, and you're just like, ugh. Now I have to deal with returns.
I had another situation like that with a DVD or a Blu-ray when I bought, I think it was either Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, and it came on like 5 discs, and I'm pretty sure it was a Walking Dead, but it was 5 discs, and I had 2, like a duplicate of disc 3. And I had to try and explain that to the guy on Amazon hotline to say I want to return it and get another one. But I had to speak in numbers and it got really confusing. I was like, right, I bought Series 4 and I've got 2 disc 3s because one of them is duplicated. I was like, how many numbers can you put into a sentence? And he's like, right, so you have 2 packages. No. I've got 1 disc. I've got 2 disc. I've got 3 disc. And then I've got another 3 disc. I've got 2 3s. It got really confusing, and the guy just lost the plot. I think I got it sorted at the end, but
I'm surprised with that grammar.
But yeah, it's I've had a couple of moments like that, but the Ubisoft one took fucking ages to sort out for the missing bust.
Yeah, I think the best one I had was Warcraft Cataclysm. I got the expansion for Christmas, and I went down my dad's place for Christmas Day, and I brought it back in the evening. And I went to install it, and it's like, okay, I need to add this to my Battle.net account. Got to put in the code. Open the box because there's like a sticker on the box inside the case, I should say, and there's no sticker. So I go for all the disc flaps, look on all the sides. No sticker. Had to be returned. Sent me a new one with a sticker inside it, but it was like Christmas, so I didn't get it for a while.
Oh well, at least you got it though.
Yeah, I got it in the end. Don't play it anymore. So very.
Yeah, it's a funny old world, isn't it? But
Of Warcraft.
No, well, I've had a lovely time reminiscing about shit films, the state of the world, and the fact that special editions cause the apocalypse. How about you?
I always like blaming special editions for everything. You know that.
Yeah, that's true. But I was going to suggest we knock the podcast on the head there, so it doesn't go on too fucking long, and not be about video games.
Well, like the 12% of video games in there was just enough, was it?
Just the quota was there, absolutely. But guys, don't forget, we are trying our best to have videos out every Wednesday and Saturday. So check back on the channel for lots of awesome content, and don't forget to like and subscribe and all that lovely good stuff. It helps us out a great deal.
I love you. Bye.
That's not the next line, Lee. You know the outro.
No, I just want to jump in there and steal it from again.
Well, I'll give you the opportunity, but you can't get the right intonation in it. It's not quite there.
No, I have trouble sounding as disinterested as you do.
Really?
No, I'm quite disinterested anyway. If my microphone had a pair of tits on it, I'd be slightly more interested. That'd be better.
Oh, just definitely get a little windshield in the shape of boobs for you.
I'll be doing this all the time.
Yeah, don't do that again. But yes, guys, thanks for listening to our ridiculous podcast about everything but video games apart from 12.5%. And we'll be back soon. I think it's me doing a video next week, isn't it? So
it is, yeah.
I have no idea. If you've got any comments or suggestions, let me know down in the comments. And we'll leave it there. So take care, guys.
Do a Bloodborne Let's Play.
Shut up. Fuck off. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
Catch you later, guys.
Bye.